Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Cary Quashen. I am your host. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not the only host, though, am I? Next to me is Michael Doherty. We don't call him Michael Doherty. You know what his name is here?
What is his name?
The Silver Fox.
There you go.
So I'm here with the Silver Fox. How are you, Mike?
I'm
or
doing
Silver, or whatever you want to call it.
Silver Fox, whatever, yeah.
I could call you a fox, but that don't sound right.
I'm doing really well.
Very cool.
Really well, yeah. Had a great weekend. And I understand you did too. Your daughter won some prizes.
Oh, you know what? I have to say that. My kid just killed it. She went to the horse show. And she's been trying to, well, she always does well, but she just got first and second place in everything she did. So she did a lot of horse jumping and riding, and she just very much did it.
Way to go.
I'm very proud of Courtney Quashen. Yes, I am.
Way to go, Courtney.
Way to go, Courtney. Hey, Mike, Families in Action is brought to you by your local hometown station, AM 1220. We've been on the air almost 13 years. Isn't that cool?
That's a pretty
Very
good accomplishment.
So why don't we do this, though? Before we do all that, why don't you introduce our guest, and we'll just include him in everything today.
That's right.
Otherwise, he's going to sit there and no one's going to know who he is. They might think he's a sheriff, but he's got highway patrol on, so I doubt that.
He's wearing a uniform.
He's
That's
wearing
right.
a
This
uniform.
is Josh Greengard, and he's the public information officer for the local
Very cool.
Highway Patrol, California Highway Patrol trips. And so we're happy to have you here.
Oh, I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you very much.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
the one who keeps our highways safe, huh?
Highways, yeah. Always
Josh-
try to keep the highways safe.
Josh and I were talking before we went on. He actually graduated locally from Hart High School.
Very cool.
So
Yeah,
he knows.
Local boy since 87, 88. My parents moved me out here. So
Wow. Very good.
So now
We've
he's got
been
a
here. I've been out
5-minute
here, what,
commute to work
18
here.
years here now. Yeah, I've been out here
20,
a long time.
25 for my wife and I.
a lot of changes.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll say.
You know, this used to
Lot of
be
changes.
the end of the world. When we were teenagers, we lived in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And the only time we would even think of coming up here is to go to Magic Mountain. And it was like, wow, that's far.
That was the only thing out here.
That
Not
was
in
it.
Camping World.
That's right. Yeah, Camping World.
Camping World's always been out
You know,
here.
we used to go to Camping World to get some of that beef jerky when we were kids on the way to Magic Mountain.
There you
Yeah.
go. Hey, Cary, we better tell people who we're brought to by, who we are brought
Well,
to them
we
by.
did say KHTS, which we appreciate.
So we're partway there.
And then we're halfway there. And then Action Family Counseling, which is alcohol and drug rehabilitation centers. We have everything from outpatient to inpatient to residential to interventions to everything.
And that's for teens and adults.
Teens and adults in different facilities. So just somebody was asking what we have. We have a 35-bed adult rehabilitation center in Bakersfield that we own and operate. We have a 22-bed facility in Piru, which is about 10 miles from here. And then we have a 18-bed adolescent ranch up the street on Bouquet Canyon. Soon a 6-bed detox right across the street.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then we have clinics. We have clinics here in Santa Clarita, Simi Valley, Ventura, Pasadena, and Bakersfield, and on and on and on.
All
So,
of Southern California. That's amazing.
We're out there, and if we're not there, we probably will get there.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately, as Mike and I say every one of these Mondays, is in one show, 3 people will die.
During our 1 hour.
Just from a drug overdose.
That's right.
That's not even talking suicides, car crashes, reckless endangerment, just suicide, just drug overdose.
Every 19 minutes. So
Every
that
19
means that
minutes.
during our show, 3 people will.
Yeah, so we are
be
in the
gone.
midst of a major epidemic. I've been treating people now for 33 years and never seen anything so bad. It's that bad right now.
It is. It's scary bad.
Yeah. So we're brought to you by Action Family Counseling and Action Family Foundation. Michael, I'll let you say a little bit about that, please.
Well, Cary, you know, you've got, well, I'm just going to touch on this briefly, but you know the Action Academy, which is from the Hart School District, which is that great free public sober school for local junior and senior high school students, and it's expanding. So is that going to, the coming year?
It's expanding immediately. We're dealing with 12 kids, and it's just not enough.
Right.
So we're bumping it now to 18. So we're very excited about
good.
that, and it's free for families and for kids. There's so many kids. I mean, let's face it. By the time a parent finds out their adolescent is using drugs, they've usually been doing it for a year plus. I mean, the
Too late.
statistics say 18 months. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really a headache. And I can do an intervention on an adult, put him in rehab. He comes out, got a wife, a husband, whatever, a job, lots of support. Good, but think about an adolescent.
There's a lot of peer pressure there.
Oh my,
Tons of peer pressure.
But send him back to school with everyone he knows, and how is he or she going to? It's the peer pressure is about 100 times stronger, and I'm not kidding, than an adult.
Oh, I can imagine.
So this school was a safe place for them to go, get their education, get support, be around other kids that are staying sober, different from other sober schools. So we're not intending on keeping them there for their whole term. We want to get them strong enough and back into their regular school where they can graduate with their class.
So they do like a semester or a quarter or half the year or whatever it is?
Now, they could go longer
Yes.
if they need it.
If they need it.
But if they're strong enough, we'll get them back to their school, of course, with support from us afterwards. But hopefully they'll be able to graduate, because we know we can't keep them in a bubble. They're going to have to hit that society sooner
Open
or later.
world.
Yeah. So there you go. It's pretty exciting, huh?
It's very exciting. And the other thing just wanted to hit briefly was the free parent support group every Tuesday from 7 to 9 at Canyon High School, Cary.
I will be there.
And that's where you will
I'm
be.
there every Tuesday. Yeah. So listen to this. So I go to my Facebook. I get an alert. Here, this. Cary, I don't know if you remember me. My name is Kathy. Back in the day, I'm now 40. I have almost 19 years of sobriety.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, and then she's, I've had a rough year. She's had some problems with divorce and heart attack, but she's still sober. And somebody mentioned, so she looked me up on Facebook. Isn't that cool?
That is very cool.
19 years later.
Very cool. She remembered you 19 years ago.
Oh, I speak to people all the time that I haven't dealt with in 20, 25, 30 years.
Life-changing.
Just like this.
It's life-changing for
Isn't that cool, though?
It's very cool.
So it's just kind of, it brings to mind why I do what I do. 19 years later, I get a text saying thank you.
Cary, let's turn to some action file items. This one was in Fox News June 24th. Officials in New Haven, Connecticut said Thursday they are experiencing a major
I saw
public
that,
health
yeah.
crisis after more than 20 overdoses were reported, including 2 fatal cases. New Haven health officials activated the emergency notification system to warn residents about the tainted, life-threatening heroin on the streets, according to the New Haven Independent. The batches of heroin were laced with fentanyl. Officials said Thursday night there were 22 overdoses and 2 deaths reported. Police said those numbers could rise. Assistant Fire Chief Matt Marcarelli said, "I don't ever recall a day like this, ever. I don't think we've had this amount in a very, very long time. We have barely enough Narcan to get through the night. We used up almost the whole supply of Narcan in the city."
These new drugs, Michael,
Naloxone.
these new drugs, 1 dose of these Narcons, it might not work.
Yeah, oh, wow.
That new drug that's coming out is that powerful.
And for people that don't know, naloxone, also known as Narcan, is administered to someone who's overdosed on heroin to reverse its effects. The fire department was working with the Yale New Haven Hospital and AMR ambulance in Hartford to obtain more. Paramedics started to respond to emergency calls at around 3:30 p.m. By then, at least 6 people had overdoses and were unconscious within 3 to 4 blocks of each other. Firefighters found 2 more men passed out in a car near a baseball field about 3 hours later. Marcarelli said the men showed obvious signs of an overdose. By 9:30 p.m., at least 15 people had overdosed on heroin, and the numbers continued to rise. And they say it's not an epidemic.
No, they're not saying that.
I know that.
They're
Yeah,
saying
we're
it
hearing
is
it
an
now.
epidemic.
I know, but we need to hear it.
Even the White House is saying that.
We need to hear it louder.
Well, you know what's really sad is I've been screaming this for, 5 years?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That the opiates is going to be worse than the 70s, that we're going to lose more people, that we need to pay attention. Now everybody's screaming the same thing. Because I'm right in the heart of the fight. We deal with people every day, and I mean it wasn't even subtle. It was coming so hard and so fast and so strong that it was clear what was happening.
And for people that wonder, okay, what about fentanyl? Well, here's another action file item. Vast drug distribution network originating in China feeds fentanyl to the U.S. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, has found that a vast drug distribution network that originates in China is feeding the deadly opioid fentanyl to the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The network trades not only in finished fentanyl, but related products that are subject to little or no regulation in China or elsewhere. The Wall Street Journal reports some of these products are known as analogs, which are copies of fentanyl, which include the chemical ingredients of fentanyl as well as pills pressed to use to make the drug. Fentanyl is an opioid legally prescribed for cancer treatment and is 25 to 50 times more potent than heroin. Even
the heroin addicts that I deal with, they're calling me and they're afraid. The really sad thing is so many of them I call, say, okay, get to my rehab. And they'll call me from the front door, and they won't go in.
They're just that scared.
They're that scared of that kind of stuff. I mean, this is the stuff I deal with every day. Here, this is Facebook, another Facebook thing. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out because I'm in need. I'm going to die. I've been through your program before when I had insurance. I have nothing now. I'm not in a safe place, and I'm scared for my life. I'm using heroin and meth on Sepulveda Boulevard. Please help. I mean, this is all day long.
Heart-wrenching.
It really is.
Right?
It really is. And I mean, we can help lots of them, but there's no really county beds for these people. There's nowhere to go. And county programs won't take them until they're detoxed. And there's no detox that is free. So it's these people are just, I mean, they're just
Well, as you know, I get
out of luck.
I get calls from time to time at the behavioral health unit from
Right.
people looking for detox, and sometimes they don't have any funding, and they're wanting to know, where can I go?
The answer is nowhere.
And they're in big
There
trouble.
really aren't. I mean, there's rehabs I can get anywhere. If anybody wants to go in a rehab, I'll get them in a rehab. But the problem is, if they want a detox, that's why they're coming to our ERs. They're
Right.
suicidal. They're not suicidal.
At Henry Mayo, right?
But there's no way they can get into a drug rehab and get detox with no money. So what they're doing is they're hitting the ERs. They're saying they're suicidal. They're put on psych holds, and they're there 3 or 4 days, and they're given some meds so at least they can get through the worst of it.
Yeah.
Which is really terrible. Fortunately now, Medi-Cal is going to start paying something for drug rehab. So each county has to, everybody's waiting to see what the county does, all its rehabs. But that's good news.
Oh, it's great.
It's a step further.
Huh?
right?
Yeah, it's a step further. Exactly. So we'll see where that goes. We're all holding our breath.
Well, Cary, one more action file. This one's going to make you smile. It's going to make Justin smile.
I'm already smiling.
We've been
Mike.
talking about
I'm already
this.
happy. It's
I know.
Monday, and it's all
I
good
know.
day.
Yeah.
California bill aims to make ignition interlock devices mandatory. A Senate committee has unanimously passed the drunk driving legislation. Convicted drunk drivers in California may soon have to blow into ignition interlock device before hitting the road if a proposed bill is made into law. Now, on Tuesday, the California Senate Public Safety Committee voted 7-0 in favor of the SB 1046 by Senator Jerry D. Hill. Thank you, Senator Hill. The bill aims to make ignition interlock devices a requirement statewide, because we've been telling you that it's been a pilot program, and it's been a pilot program in Alameda County, Los Angeles County, Tulare, and Sacramento counties, but now it stands to be statewide. Such devices work by testing the breath of a driver and can prevent a car from starting if the driver's been drinking, according to the office of Senate Hill. Today, the Senate Public Safety Committee voted to protect all Californians from the completely preventable violent crime of drunk driving, said Mary Klotzbach of MAD. That's the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers National Board member and Livermore resident whose 22-year-old son Matt was killed by a drunk driver following the Senate action. She said, "I buried Matt. I buried a piece of my heart. Now I can make sure no other parent, child, brother, sister ever has to endure this kind of heartache." The CDC reports that the use of ignition interlock devices help prevent drivers previously arrested for DUI from being re-arrested.
But we want it to be even different, don't we, Mike?
We do.
We want it in all cars, straight out of the factory. Why not? Imagine how many drunk driving arrests and deaths are there a year? Lots, right?
A lot. I can tell you, actually, the Newhall office, we had an impaired driving task force on Saturday night,
Right.
a couple of days ago, right, where we bring a bunch of officers from other areas in Southern Division, and we bring them to a specific office.
Right.
That time was for the Newhall office. So we had approximately 24, 25 officers Saturday night patrolling the Newhall area, 674 square miles, right? They got
That's why I saw so many highway patrols.
Saturday night.
I saw them, yeah.
You saw them, tons
saw
of them,
yeah.
right? A few supervisors, and their primary goal is not to work the beat; it's to get drunk drivers off the road.
Awesome.
That night, 14 DUI arrests.
Right here in this city?
Yeah, right here in Santa
Wow.
Clarita Valley.
14, huh?
14 just that night.
Way to
One
go.
night. Last weekend, total 22 DUI arrests. So
Wow. In Santa Clarita?
that's just with the highway patrol. You still have your local sheriff's department too.
Wow.
So they get more to add to that.
But Michael, that's,
sure.
But what is they? How many people say they drove drunk this
Well,
a month?
the
You
people-
you have numbers like 4 million
right,
or something like that.
across the United States, A month.
a month.
And these are people who admitted to it, so we know there's got to be another million.
There's probably
or
another
two.
50% that don't admit
yeah.
to it.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
yeah,
more.
at least.
4 million.
What's the population in California?
Oh, that was across the United States, but
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
but you make a good point, because we know there's a lot of people out there
Well,
doing that
well,
that
listen.
aren't saying,
Our list. Santa Clarita. Did you hear that? 22 arrests just by the Highway Patrol
That's right.
in Santa
the weekend,
Clarita
yeah.
this weekend.
And then Memorial Weekend, we didn't have the impaired driver task force here, and just the Newhall office got 17.
Wow.
Wowie.
And then, of course, next weekend coming up is July 4th. So
Yes.
So you're expecting to be really
we'll
busy.
we always have this maximum enforcement period through holiday weekends. It's
Right.
a 72-hour thing.
Right.
We start from 6 o'clock Friday evening if the holiday's on a Monday.
Right.
If it's on a Friday, we start from Thursday 6 o'clock, and we go to that holiday day Monday
Right.
till 6 p.m. and we record all the stats, and it's overwhelming how many.
So if Michael and I get and Justin gets what
I was going to say. I mean,
if we get
right?
what we want, that wouldn't happen, would it? If ignitions, if that alcohol breathing ignition
I
switches,
can't say 100%, but yes, it
But
would,
we
it
would-
would greatly decrease.
Well, by at least
Greatly decrease.
80%. I mean, it wouldn't be any less than that.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a lot more.
Well, you're going to get somebody that's going to blow in somebody's car. You're going to get the people that are driving under the influence of drugs. But I'll bet you we'll knock that number down at least in half. We have to.
Yeah, that's insanity.
So imagine the lives that would be changed because of that switch.
And we have
all the lives that you save.
Yeah.
All those family members who didn't have to lose a brother, a sister, an uncle.
Yeah. You know,
Mother,
the worst phone
kid.
call I got, we had this little 16-year-old girl in my rehab, and she had 2 years sober. And we were talking to the mom, and the kid wanted to work for Action when she hit 18. She had to, anyways, almost 18, a week from 18, I get a call from the mom, and a drunk driver killed her. It's like this stuff
Tragedy.
would stop.
what
Yeah.
a senseless
And-
waste.
Yeah, it's senseless.
Yeah.
And you have that 18-year-old who wants to do something good in this world.
Yeah.
Work for a good company, work for a good cause, work for a good organization. And
Killed by a drunk driver.
I have a question for you, Josh. Is the 4th of July the deadliest day on the road, or the second deadliest day? I've seen.
Well, I could say it's one of the deadliest days.
That's right up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It very
There's
well
there's
may
usually
be.
a lot of traffic. There's usually a lot of alcohol consumption. So from what we record, you know.
Thanksgiving's big, isn't it?
Thanksgiving is the busiest traveled day, or the busiest traveled weekend, because you have
Right.
the 4 days off, and everyone. That seems like the biggest weekend that all the family members want to get together.
Right.
You know, in case they can't get together with Christmas or 4th of July. It's
Thanks.
always Thanksgiving. Traffic is always bad.
So there's a lot of people out drinking, but next week is July 4th. So
Right.
we're hoping that by this show, and you all listening, there's going to be no drunk driving arrests next week.
Right.
At least just think about it.
How come I don't?
Right.
How come I don't believe that's going to happen?
Well, you can only
Well, Josh, a couple of weeks ago, Cary and I talked about the 100 deadliest days for teens, which
Yes.
is between Memorial Day. It's actually Memorial Day through Labor Day.
Yeah.
And that has to do with traffic deaths on the highways as a result of the way that teens tend to drive in a distracted manner, which we want to talk about when we come back. And I know that you've got some interesting information to add to that conversation.
Yes. We got to take a commercial, or is that why we're
So
doing
this
it?
is something.
Unfortunately, we have to do that.
And we want all the parents.
well, we don't
out
have
there.
to. I mean, we could just watch the board op go crazy over
Yeah, he's
there.
just gonna get upset about it.
Yeah. He'll start jumping and
We have to pay the bills. That's
Yeah, I
the way it
understand.
works.
Everyone's gotta
But
pay the
you know,
bills.
all the parents out there, you really want to get close to your radio, or if you're listening to the stream on KHTS, because this is going to be powerful.
Yeah. Hey, this is Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220. We'll be right back.